Hello and welcome to the Knit Girls. This is episode 532. I'm Laura, also known as Lala.
I am Leslie, also known as You Don't Call Me Les. Today is Tuesday, the 25th of May.
Yay!
2021. So we're coming up to the end of May. I had a monthly meeting today with a vendor, and I mentioned that it felt like last week we had our last monthly meeting. She's like, yeah, that's what it feels like. So I was like, so I'll see you tomorrow for Jane's meeting.
Aw.
So, yeah, time definitely seems to be flying.
It does.
Gotta be for you, because you've got one more day of school.
One more day.
And it's a half day.
One day more.
So,
yeah. It's a half day because I took PDL. But, yeah. I'm totally on board with it. I have 8 flex hours a year.
Yeah.
And so I took what was remaining that I hadn't used for other things tomorrow, because otherwise they disappear.
Yeah.
And like I told one of my parents, I turned 40 and decided that I am not working for free anymore. And that means that because usually she's like, usually you're up here in the summer taking up books. And I was like, but my contract ends tomorrow. Yeah. Which is a horrible thing to say, but at the same time, I want to get my work-life balance back into perspective. I think one thing that changed for me a lot with this is my kids could contact me 24/7, and so that life balance got a little bit out of whack.
And Laura has a very difficult time putting down her phone. Like, that's a hard thing for her.
It is. So I am going to try to get that back in focus this summer. That's the plan. So
I feel like it's a very American. Well, at least in comparison to the European countries.
I was totally having that discussion with a coworker who worked. His former boss was from France. Mm-hmm. And he's like, she worked really, really hard when she was in the office, but when she left, or it was a weekend, or she was on vacation, she was not, she didn't answer email, and that's the way it should be. So, and I have a hard time with that because my coworkers have a hard time with that. Yeah. Like, they have no problem with texting me at night, and so we're working on establishing those boundaries. But yeah. That was a mini rant.
Yeah, I mean,
I've been on with mini rants today, so it's been very awesome.
I mean, my company switched this year to flex time. So, whereas previously, I will be at 22 years with the company in July, and the way our PTO or our time off worked, once you got to 14 years, you maxed out. You got 5 weeks, and that's as much as you could get. Okay. And it staggered up from 1 year, 5 years, all that. So, and so for the past, 7-8 years, I've had 5 weeks of vacation, which has been handy because I need a week and a half for SSK every year.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And, this year they switched to flex time, which is it's just this invisible time. You have this invisible, unlimited bank of time. And you don't earn anything. You just take what you need when you need it, provided that that your duties can be completed and all that.
I don't know how I feel about that.
And it bothers me because even though I'm in a place now where if I need a day, I'll take it, right? Yeah. It's I'm 40 and I'm I'm done with this.
You've got fuzzies on your nose.
But
you've got fuzzies on your nose.
People who have less experience, standing up for themselves in a big company like this, it's very easy to feel like you didn't earn in it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, anyway, that's my little mini rant. Hey, get lost.
He's like, but why?
I'm going to back up, and then I'm going to come around and see you. Oh, did you need me? Yeah, I'm here. For anybody that's going to ask, this is a square-ish. It's basically 2 rectangles, squares, that are seamed up the side most of the way and then across on the shoulders.
Yeah, it looks cute.
It's called Square-ish. It's by Hillary something. I knit it a couple years ago.
And you dyed it too.
Yeah, the original color was this sort of watercolory green, and I didn't like how it came out, so I just overgot it with a black, a RIT dye, fabric dye, and now I'm just wearing it over a big old flowy
maxi dress.
Yeah. So he looks. You're grossing me out, friends. All right, go. Thank you. So knitting. That's what the show is usually about.
Sometimes. I started a new pair of socks. They are Knit Spin Farm in the World Plant a Vegetable Garden colorway. They look like this. I'm knitting them on size 1, Addy Turbo Squared. So they are just coming along swimmingly. I started them the other day when we had a faculty kids basketball game. So yeah, they're happy. World Plant a Garden Day it just happened in May. So I'll have these to wear next year. What else do I have? I have a swatch somewhere. I swatched this past week. I swatched on size 8s, which are at the bottom, and 7s, which are at the top. I originally was going to swatch for a sweater that was in reverse stockinette, and I decided I didn't like that side a whole lot. I like the stockinette side a lot better. So I am going to knit the Harvest sweater by Tinkia Knits, and this is yarn by Camilla Fiber Company out of Nashville. This is their pepper worsted, I believe. I think it's been discontinued because I think I got it pretty inexpensively because it was discontinued back in like March. So I'm pretty sure I got gauge with those 7s. I like the fabric. I think it'll be a nice drapey sweater, which is knit flat and has garter panels. So that is the second thing that I worked on.
Is that the cardigan or the jumper?
That's the cardigan.
Okay.
I'm gonna make you touch it. So it's like a not super soft wool.
No, it feels like it's a slightly longer, not like a ruff, but like
a Cordale type.
Like it's got a little tooth to it, as Jasmine would say.
And then the last thing that I worked on, you can see where I was for my stitch marker, is I worked on my cowl. My Sealy McWheely cowl, which is just cast on a bunch of stitches and knit in the round. And I'm just knitting round and round and round on it. So I am around halfway through the second little mini. And maybe I'm going to add a stitch pattern on the next mini. I haven't decided yet. So we'll see. I need to count how many stitches I have on the needles before I can determine if I can do that or not.
What color is that you're working on now?
I think it's Marvin.
Okay.
And then the blue was a full skein of a color from a dyer that's no longer dyeing. And that was it's a Neil Gaiman book, Stardust. So yeah, 2 very awesome sci-fi-ish books. The Stardust I kind of feel like is more fantasy. But yeah, that is it for me. That is what I am working on. What have you been working on?
Cool. Make one left. Let me do this make one real quick. Alright, so I've been working on the Crochet Blanket, which is the Granny Goes Large.
I'm watching your dog destroy a toy.
Is it a toy?
I think it's a toy.
Yeah.
It looks like the little thing that you put squirrels in.
It's a log that came filled with squirrels with squeakers in them. But he killed all the squeakers, but we just keep restuffing it with the dead squirrels because he still enjoys pulling them out.
Now he's pulling the log apart, though.
Yeah, well, whatever. So I've been working on Granny Goes Large, which is a huge granny square, basically. It's a blanket that is a granny square. I've got 2 colors left.
Yay!
4 total rows, so I got 2 rows done this week.
Amazing stash.
Yeah, it will be. I'm going to have to weigh it. There's no other way I'd be able to figure out the yardage.
I have a postal scale at my house.
I'll have to get like a big bucket and then reset the weight and put it in there. But so I've been working on that. It's too big. I'm not going to bring it up. You won't probably see it again until I'm finished or almost finished. So I've worked on that a bit, and then the only other knitting crochet that I've worked on is the Chance of Showers. Is that what it's called? Yep. By Heidi Kermay, which is sort of just a cropped, drapey cardigan. Shrug maybe is a better word because it doesn't really meet in the middle. And so
great for over dresses.
Yeah, or over like tank tops or something. So I am knitting it out of Sunday Knits, Eden, which is a 3-ply wool and spun yarn. And last week we couldn't remember the last name of the person, and it's Sunday, Carol Sunday.
Oh.
So,
but Carol Feller has her own line of yarn.
Does she?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I'm pretty sure.
I'm
just making stuff up at this point.
But yeah, so this is Sunday Knits, and it's wool and spun. It's really nice to work with. A lovely viewer sent that over, and I've finished the stockinette part of the body. So now I'm just about to start. There's a lace edge, and then there's a lace collar. So I'm about to start the lace edge, but I'm done with the stockinette.
Wow, you've done major progress on that.
And I think I had so many short rows. I was so sick of friggin' short rows, let me tell you. But that's basically all I worked on. Only 6 total back and forth rows since last week happened. Wow. Like it's 2 sets of major short rows.
Cool though.
But yeah, so I just finished the stockinette body. I'm starting the lace panel like right now, although the first 3 rows are just knit or purl, with some increases. So that's it. That's all that I'm working. I mean, it's lovely. I can't wait for it to be done. But I don't really have a ton to say about it. Besides, I really like the yarn.
It's gonna be super cute when it's finished.
Yeah, I hope so. But I don't have anything finished.
I do.
Yay!
Yay! I finished the Knit Spin Farm socks in the International Dark Sky colorway. So, there they are. Boom! And they're for me. I just have to weave in the ends. So,
they're
super
pretty.
Stoked about that. Yeah, I like them a lot.
I was there when you finished them. Because it was knit night.
Yes. Yeah.
And we are back to having knit night in person because all of our attendees are vaccinated.
And there's only 5 of us.
Yeah, and there's plenty of space to socially distance. So
yeah, I'm super stoked about these. So that is amazing.
Yeah, those are for you.
More socks for my sock drawer. Yep, for sure. And so those are done, and I've started a new pair. I'm trying to get a pair of socks knit a month, which has been pretty successful so far.
Especially being sport weight, they do. And testing helped with that.
Yes, absolutely. And lots of time at work to, sit and do stuff. I think I got 2 or 3 pairs done during testing, so that was perfect. Hey, Buff. So that is it for me for finished objects. Do you have any spinning?
I do, but I didn't bring it up, so I talked to Jill of Hip Strings when I ran out of that silver for the 3-ply, and she hand hackled some. So usually that particular blend is milled. They didn't happen to have any of that colorway, so she sort of made some of it for me.
Yeah, she created top on a hackle.
So I spun that, and it's finished. It's been the single has been spun, but now it just needs to be joined and plied, and I just haven't had the time to do that. So I didn't bother bringing it up because it's just
Well, maybe you can make some time to ply as we listen to My Dad Wrote a Porno.
Probably not, because I'll be too busy talking, but I will at some point this week because I would love to see that yarn finished. I don't know what you want. Just because I'm talking does not mean that you need to get involved.
Stay in your lane, knee legs. Knitting is not your lane. Buffy's like, but now it's my lane too.
Oh, hold on. Let me move this so that you don't push buttons.
Buffy loves pushing buttons on the keyboard. I have some finished spinning.
No, you don't.
I do. I plied and everything. So I took a class with Jillian Marino over the course of the last 2 weeks. It was through Stitches at Home. It was about intentionally making choices to spin for a project. It was really, really good. Highly recommend it. But I had to empty some bobbins in order to do that. So I plied quite a bit this last week. So I will show you some of the things that I applied. I also did finish, I showed you guys last week some Into the Worlds that I was spinning. I did finish the 3rd bobbin of that as well. But some finished things. I finished the Gwynnie Spins. This is a superwash merino. Oop. I don't think she's in business anymore. The fiber was not dyed all the way through, which is why you can see some like bright spots and then some more pastels. But I think it'll be great for a baby sweater or something like that. It is 377 yards of a superwash merino. It's chain plaid, so it is going to gradiate from that purple, blue, all the way to pink. So you can kind of see. There's the green, yellow, blue, and then that bright pink.
It's a little like Lisa Frank.
Yeah. It was, the reason why I got it is it glows under a black light, and I thought that was so cool.
Because you're around black lights.
I am. So. Baby raves happen a lot in my life.
Baby raves. That's the title of the episode.
The second fiber that I applied is from Hip Strings. This is the Narwhal Pool Party. It is a blend of superfine merino. You're like the dog whisperer today. Superfine merino, Tessa silk, viscose, and nylon. So it's a little bit of a heavier spin, which means the grist is going to be a little bit heavier. I got 350 yards of like a sport weight. It's a fingering, and it was spun on my Sparrow. It's a 2-ply. It's sparkly and pretty, and it makes me very, very happy. I'm keeping this one for me. 100%.
Buffy's very sad because you're ignoring her.
Hi, Buffy.
Oh.
This is Into the Worlds. It is a Jacob that was spun as a 2-ply on my Ladybug and plied on the Hanson. It is 350 yards. Jacob's a little bit of a rougher fiber. They weren't originally bred for fiber, and they do have spots. They're the sheep that you see with the horns and the spots, and actually the softness of their fiber can change depending if it's a black spot, a white spot.
Oh, I didn't realize color affected
that. So those spots, the actual like diameter of the fiber can change in those areas. So it's a little bit less consistent of a breed when it comes to different spots. But yeah, this is Wheelhouse. It is not my colors. It's not my wheelhouse. So this was part of the Into the World Club, and one of the colorways was Wheelhouse, and the other colorway was not my wheelhouse. And it made me laugh. So this will be a giveaway for someone. It is 350 yards of a 2-ply. Maybe on our Patreon, one of the Zooms we do.
Yeah.
That'll be fun. And then this
that's very pretty.
Is going to be some socks for me. It is going to be some Rose City rollers.
I don't remember. Are Rose City rollers color work?
No.
Okay.
They're the shorty socks.
Yeah, but you did one shorty sock that had color work.
Yes, I did. I never finished. I'm going to try to finish that set this summer.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like you said that last year, too.
I feel like I do. So this was fiber from 57 Chapters. It's their satire base. It's a superwash BFL nylon. BFL is also more dense fiber, so it tends to weigh more, so your yardage isn't going to be as great from 4 ounces as it might be from like a superwash merino. It's 325 yards of that 3-ply, so I'm going to do some shorty socks.
Yeah, it's pretty.
And just really, I mean, it's a good summer sock colorway. It's got little blips of different colors in it that are very subtle. So yeah, that might go on next after I finish the Into the World's Handbags at Dawn sock tubes that I need to finish. I might do that next. But yeah, that's it for me. For spinning, there's still lots of things to ply. I spun the singles to sample for my sweater spin that I'm about to start. That I started sampling for in Jillian's class, and she talks a lot about sampling in that class. It's really, really good. Good class. So I came out of it very motivated. It was nice to see like all the different things people were spinning for, different patterns.
Yeah.
Not just sweaters, but other things as well. Shawls, all sorts of things.
That's my husband, sorry.
But yeah, that's about it for me. I've been talking for a while. I'm still listening to the same audiobook. What are you listening or reading?
Well, I'm still listening to We've Got Answers by Charlemagne the God. Brilliant. Still recommend it. I started Broken in the... Ow!
These dogs today.
Stepping on my toes. I started Broken in the Best Possible Way by Jenny Lawson.
Yeah, I had started that one.
It's the third book that she's written. The first was Let's Pretend This Never Happened. And the second was Furiously Happy.
I think
Furiously something. I think it was Happy. So it's good. It's very intense. She gets much more granular with some of the struggles she has with anxiety and depression and all of her other like physical and mental illnesses. It's good, but it's hard. It's not one that I feel like I can listen to straight through.
Yeah.
And so I'm also reading The Dark Wizard by Jeff Kennedy. So I like Jeff Kennedy. I've read several of his/her, I don't know the pronoun, books, and they're great. They're definitely sort of fantasy, male-female romance. And this one it's an interesting premise because it's wizard familiar concept, but the familiar is a human that has the ability to transform into an animal.
Okay.
But it's more of an ownership thing. The wizard owns the familiar, so there's all sorts of dynamics in there. It got great reviews, and I do like Jeff Kennedy, so even though I didn't love that particular idea, I am reading it. It's good. I think I'm about halfway through, so... and I'm still watching the Would I Lie to You, which is a British comedy panel series, which is good. I do have some sewing.
Oh, cool.
That I can talk about. So, first, my sewing machine is at the shop.
Uh-oh, that's right. I had forgotten about this. It's not fixed yet?
It is. I called this afternoon. But they're closed Saturday because it's in anticipation of the holiday.
Yeah.
And they're only open 10 to 4, so I got the okay from my boss. I'm just going to go get it in the morning and start work late because I usually work East Coast hours, so usually by 7:30 I'm online. And my boss is in Vegas, so he starts later. But yeah, so I'm going to go pick it up in the morning. But it basically just hadn't been serviced in at least 7 years.
It just needed a good clean.
To be fair, until the last couple of years, I really hadn't used it a ton. So
yeah.
But it was given to me by Ro, and so every time I use it, it makes me think of her, which makes me happy. But I'm sewing the Otis overalls. We talked about these a little bit last week. It's a pattern by Sew Liberated, S-E-W, Liberated. Amy Beth of The Fat Squirrel Speaks has a brilliant video out there talking about all the modifications and, things to consider when you're sewing this pattern. If you haven't watched it, you definitely should. If you're considering making the overalls, I need you to back off. So,
Felix, come over here. Hi.
It's size grade. I believe it goes up to a US size 30.
Yes.
I believe. And there's lots of different options. There is a video tutorial series. That's Neelix's tail hitting the desk.
He's super excited.
Neelix, get down.
He is just so excited today.
So there is a video tutorial series with a 5-day sort of sew along where they break it down, which is super helpful. However, the video fabric that she uses is muslin, so it's the same on both sides.
Oh, that's hard.
And there's a lot of counterintuitive ways of putting this together because it's flat felled, so it's kind of like, for those of you out there who are sewers, you probably already know, but it's like French seams. So in most things, when you're sewing a garment, you put the right sides together, and then you sew, and then when you unfold it, you got that nice seam. Well, with French seams, you put the wrong sides together, and then you sew, and then you turn it inside to the right sides together, and then you sew again, so you got this enclosed seam. Well, flat felling takes that a step further, and then it tacks down that enclosed seam is like a little...
Yeah, it's like a little tag.
It's like a little tag, yeah. Well, it takes that a step further, and it tacks that seam down.
It's really pretty, though.
So, like that.
Yeah. I bet you're using a ton of thread.
I am. And it's the first time I've ever flat felled, So there's that, but
there's a lot of ironing involved.
There's a lot of pressing. Holy crap, there's a lot of pressing. And there's a lot of curves, so a tailor's ham or
it's a ham.
Pressing ham or whatever is definitely needed, or whatever your makeshift. I'm sure there's DIY versions out there, but so my one complaint would be that the how-to videos are not always as helpful as I would like them to be, because the wrong side and the right side are exactly the same of the fabric. But I've got the entire bottom half done.
Oh, good.
So that is the inset sleeves, or I'm sorry, not sleeves.
Pockets.
Pockets, yeah, the inset pockets, which if I could open that. So there's inset pockets on the side, and then in the back there's pockets as well. And
all the pockets.
On the front of the bib there's a pocket.
That'll be perfect for SSK.
Yeah, and I wasn't sure about these cuffs, but I decided to give it a try. So they're called lantern cuffs. So they sort of...
they're like gathered a little bit.
Yeah, they kind of go down a bit at the bottom. And again, everything is flat felled, so there's a lot where...
Is it like a wide leg?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's good. It's kind of like sweatpants.
Yeah.
Joggers.
Mm-hmm. Comfortable. Yeah, that's the idea. So they are, of course nothing's been seamed, but they're quite large. But I am also quite a large person.
Yeah. Now, if you're going to do overalls, I feel like oversized overalls
for
is the
sure.
way to go.
So I started to do the front bibs, and then my machine jammed, and all the normal stuff that I can do didn't work. Michael's got an air compressor hooked up into our house, so it's kind of like a central vacuum, so you can I don't have to buy canned air, I can just blow it out, which is really cool. So tried all that.
Oh, we should bring the sock machine over to use that.
Yeah, that's true. Or just leave it at my house.
That's fine. It is more than welcome to come live at your house. Do you want the cabinet it lives on too?
I don't know. Let's figure that out when we're not recording. But yeah, so the regular stuff didn't work, so I called a couple of local shops after talking to Mama Linneman about what, because she has had sewing machines, and although she could probably do most of the repairs herself on a lot of them, because she used to repair the FAF machines, what her recommendation was, and found a place, a family-owned, like, vacuum and sewing repair shop.
Yeah, she knew. I've been to that shop a couple of times.
And so I took it up there and dropped it off on Saturday, and I've got to go back up there tomorrow and pick it up.
You go to Trader Joe's.
I could tomorrow when everybody in the world's not there.
It'll give you a shopping list.
But of course, ever since I dropped off my sewing machine, all I've wanted to do is sew. Like, everything I've wanted to make has been sewing. And speaking of, I am going to... let me grab this bag because it's got fabric in it. So when Jacqueline Cieselak, the designer who designed Ursa and Water Bearer and a lot of great patterns, she's very fat positive.
She has some great classes too.
She does. Laura and I have both taken virtual classes with her. So she put out this book called Embody.
Through Pom Pom. I
believe it came out in the end of March, and so I pre-ordered it because it's got three patterns in it, right? And so you would think that's not really enough for a book, but she gives you every variation you can think of on those three patterns,
and it's sewn and knit.
So the one pattern. Also, I just love this woman's philosophy. I love her photography. Like, look at this picture. Like, she's not hiding anything. She's not, like, trying to make angles work for her. She's just like, this is who I am, and this is what I look like, and, if you don't like it, you can bite me. So, it's got two primary patterns in it. One, she's got an accessory pattern as well, but primarily it's a sweater. Yeah,
I really like the, not the cardigan version, but the other version. The pullover version.
I'm trying to remember what it's called.
That one is what I like.
Yeah, let me look and see what it's called.
Y'all will never know because
Deren, D-E-R-E-N. And so this is the knit pattern. Right? And if I go a little further, there's schematics that show you all the different options. That's not what I want. And all adjustments for how to do bicep adjustment or hip adjustments, like everything you can think of. Bust starts, armholes, maybe it doesn't have it for this pattern.
Let's go all the schematics.
Yeah, so you can do long sleeve, short sleeve, whatever length you want, whether it's cropped, waist, hip.
There's a vest version.
There's a pullover version. There's a vest version. Let me just pull up some other pictures to show you guys. This is not sponsored. We bought this. We just love it.
Yeah.
So that one's one where it's held together with a mohair. This one is the cardigan version. And it works for any gauge. Yeah. So she gives you information about how to figure out your gauge, and then based on your gauge, how much yarn you need. It's really a great first sweater book.
Yeah, I might have to do the short sleeve one at some point.
Well, I was going to send this home with you because I got the sewing bit, and that's what I needed.
Okay.
And so then there's an accessory called Elsum. It's a shawl. It's a versatile shawl. And it's got different textures and ways to wear it. And the primary reason that I bought this, it's really long. I didn't realize it was quite that long. Oops, wrong one. So the primary reason I bought this is for the sewing pattern. So
I do like the dress.
Yeah. So when we took her class virtually separately on different days, but we both really liked just her style, like of the clothing that she wore.
We took a capsule wardrobe class with her, which is interesting because my capsule wardrobe is t-shirts and jeans.
Yeah.
And
as much as I would love to be more trendy, like this is probably the trendiest I've been in a year. So, and I slept in this last night. I'm going to be completely honest with you. So, she wears a lot of dresses or tunics that are sort of not necessarily asymmetrical, but high-low. And so this pattern is called Wool Fork. And there's all these different versions, and it's got a gorgeous schematic of all the different versions. Let me pull it up. So I was looking through this earlier. And she shows you based on what version you're going to make, like what the best way to lay it out on your fabric is, so you can get the most out of it.
Because fabric is expensive.
It is. So here are all the different options.
I love all those options.
So
I love that tunic one with the pockets. Nope, over there. There we go. This one.
So I'm going to make that one, but I'm going to make it with slightly longer sleeve. One of the options is these cropped sleeves. I'm going to make it with just slightly longer sleeves than that. But that's the one that I want to make.
That would be super cute with leggings in the winter and boots.
And so this is the fabric.
Some leg warmers.
That I found on clearance for like $4 a yard at Joann's.
I love you and your funny clearance fabric. It makes me happy.
No, but this isn't terrible, right?
No, I like that. So, that reminds me of a pair of pants you already have.
Yeah, I do wear a lot of linen striped pants. This is double gauze, so it's a very, very thin fabric, but it's double layered. It's what a lot of baby blankets are made out of. So, really nice thin blanket. So I got 4 yards for under $15, so I was really happy with it. And
it's super comfy for you.
I have to pre-wash it. So I'll have to serge the edges and pre-wash it. But yeah, so I got the pattern printed out from my local FedEx on the A0 size paper. And I'm stoked. I'm stoked about starting.
You can start cutting and serging now.
Well, I can serge the fabric whole. I don't have to cut it first.
But after you wash it, you can start the cutting.
And I'll get my sewing machine back tomorrow. Yeah. So there's that.
But if you need something to do tonight.
Yeah. So that's my sewing talk took a while. Sorry.
No, I love it.
What else do we need to talk about?
Discord.
Yeah.
So I've tried to record a video on my Mac 3 times, and every time it's without sound. I think. I don't know. It's being weird.
Yeah.
My
Laura and technology,
life is very weird right now.
It's funny because at school, Laura's the go-to for technology.
And in real life, it's
and it's like me, in my work life, I push the envelope and I try to incorporate all these cool automation and monitoring. But when I'm at when it's home stuff, I'm like, Michael, it's not coming on.
I've recorded using this computer, using the exact same setup, probably 30 times. But I just updated my whole entire operating system and it updated everything. And it's being weird. Yeah. I don't know. So I'll fix it and put that up, but we are hosting Stash Dash on Discord. All the rules are on Discord now, and you are welcome to join us. I'm enjoying Discord. I don't think it's too hard to kind of...
No, I like it better than I liked Ravelry, because all the different sort of topics of conversation, like, it's kind of like... At SSK, or probably like at any large sort of social gathering, you pop down at a table and they're talking about one thing, and you're like, oh, okay, this isn't really my jam. I'm more interested in talking about, what I'm reading or whatever. So I'm going to go pop over to that table.
Yeah.
So it's very conversational. I think I talked about that last week. Like it's easier for me to keep up, because people, instead of there being 400 unread messages in one thread, there's only like 20 in this one and 30 in that one. And like, I feel like I'm more a part of the conversation. So
yeah, and it's easier to catch up, I feel like, because it limits you to under 2,000 words per post. I found that out when I was trying to copy and paste.
I was like, what are you posting?
2,000 words or more.
Yeah.
So
good to know.
Yeah. So it's pretty chill.
So we'll update the Discord link and put it on our show notes.
You can actually set it up.
So it doesn't expire?
Yeah, the next day I figured out how to do that.
Oh, good. Well, then you can send it to me. Or did you already is that your new link?
I didn't put it there, no.
Okay.
I put it on...
your Instagram or something?
Yeah.
You'll have to send it to me then.
Yep, that's fine.
Yeah, I think that's it. The new series of My Dad Wrote a Porno started yesterday.
Yep.
So we're going to listen to that in tandem with a couple of our friends.
Yeah, tonight. It'll be fun.
And
I have no idea what happened.
I don't either.
I have no idea what happened in any of the
episodes. This is true.
So I'm just okay, what's happening now?
We might re-listen to the last episode before.
Yeah, that's probably good.
I know because I've listened to them through half a dozen times at least, but I enjoy them, so I have no problem listening.
One of my favorite memories from SSK is me and Beck driving the huge U-Haul van to SSK listening to My Dad.
Oh, did you? Oh, that's cool.
She's a good sister. I like her.
She is a pretty good sibling and a human being as well.
Yep.
So, all right. Well, I think that's it. We will talk to you guys next week, and by then, Stash Dash will have started.
Yes.
So
that'll be super fun.
Yeah. So until then, we hope that you have a lovely weekend. If you celebrate Memorial Day, we hope you do it safely. And have a good week.
Bye, y'all.